Are we rolling? Yes, we are. All right, cool. So those of you guys that are stuck on your thesis and working at your research and trying to figure out exactly where to start, we're going to start. For this, we are going to be using a manual for writers, which you all should have, which I believe is required in historiography. So if you don't, it's time to dust that thing off or go find it. Now, this thing starts off with giving us 3 major questions to help our research. The things that this talked about really brought to mind is the way we think. Now, often we think as students, which is turning in a paper, usually working on it the night before, and we've got like a half-assed idea that's got a conclusion and a few supporting details on there. This paper is much longer. We are going to have a full year to work on this paper, and the research that goes into that is where it's the new territory for us. So, with that, we need to start thinking as researchers. And in that, I want you to think of the basic investigational questions that we were taught back in elementary, the who, what, where, how, and the why. Now, we're going to deal with the most important of these, which is the who, the what, and the why. And we're going to formulate these into 3 basic questions. The first question we will start as, I should scoot this stuff over. And let's go here, which is going to be what, who, and why. And those are all out of order, but we'll straighten that out. So, first question. Question number 1 is, let's phrase it as such. I am investigating topic we're going to call this topic X. Now, for demonstration's sake, we will, I'm just going to use my example. We'll start with, as those of you know, I've changed mine to early Christianity. So, I am investigating, or better yet, researching the topic of early Christianity. Now, feel free to be as general as you want with this. The other questions that we're going to look at are going to help with developing that idea and the process of our research. So, number 2, which is, if I can remember, number 2 is because, right? There we go. Because I want to, I feel like there's a better way to phrase this. It's going to be a little bit shorter. Oh, yeah, that's easier. Because I want, to find out why. And not as in our investigational question why, but as the value of why. And again, this is our cause. This is our purpose. What is driving us? What do we want to understand? If we haven't defined this, it's going to make the rest of this process more difficult. So, because I want to find out why, and I am particularly interested in this subject because I want to understand whether is Christianity rural or city-based in its origin? And that is interesting because it'll change the dynamics of early Christianity, where it comes, and explain a lot of other questions of the rise of Christianity in the Roman Empire and such and such. So this kind of leads into a lot of other things. That's my particular interest in the subject. Then we got question 3. And this is another important one, which is so that missing a letter there. Understand Z. So that I can help others understand Z. So we have our basic formula, which is, not plus, but X plus Y equals Z. So this gives us our purpose. So this is where we're starting, what we want to find out for this reason. Or the what, and is that right? Anyways, I'm just going to erase that. Forgot what I had originally done there.
It was the 3rd point.
Huh?
It was your 3rd point, your purpose.
Right. This is identity, identifying our topic. Our purpose for our investigation, and then our future, or motivation, or kind of our going forward. Now, if any one of these elements are missing or not well defined, that'll probably come out. Understanding these things will lay out the whole process of our research and help us get to developing that and exactly our resources, sources, secondary, primary, all those things. Now, for me to answer this, it would be, is Christianity, and that was, so I can help others understand, let's say, early Christianity. In its practices and thinking. So that I can help others understand early Christianity and its practices and thinking. Now, this is my general. This is where I'm starting my investigation. So at this point, we'll get into exactly the next steps in this and developing these ideas, creating our thesis, and then we'll see exactly how much of this will remain the same and whether I might tweak this one a little bit. But as new information comes in and as I see some of the other secondary sources, which may argue for or against some of these things, whether it is in the countryside or whether it's in the cities, and depending on where that argument goes, might affect this, and perhaps maybe not necessarily practices, or maybe not just thinking, or maybe it would add something else to it. So this will be our 3 questions, which we will continue to refer back to and probably want to reassess over time. Anyways, hopefully this helps.